Hello, greetings from Waliczka near Krakow in Poland again. I haven't been here for I think a couple of weeks. Last week I posted the discussion with Andrew Liles, which seems to be doing quite well actually on the channel. Very lively discussion it was too, because I think we always got on well, and always liked Andrew's company. I'd like to think he'd say the same, but maybe not. But anyway, that went on the channel last week, and I'm here today because this morning, luckily I didn't have any teaching work today, but or I've got one lesson, but later in the day. But this arrived. Extended Network Albus. So this arrived when did it arrive? Probably about 9:30 this morning. So a huge pallet of them, and I've got one disc playing at the moment, but there's an insert, one-sided insert on nice wobbly card, so good quality with some sleeve notes from Andrew. And this copy that I've got here is the nice blue vinyl version. Look at that, lovely. So a lot of work's got into this, and I'm sure it'll be bloody expensive as well. So please order a copy. So I've actually still got about 25 copies available with the signed postcard from Andrew Fearn. So if you're interested in a copy of that Albus Extended Network album, then go to the shop, link below, and order yourself a copy. I've not even had a chance to update the information there yet because I've been busy packing orders and so on and so forth. So I wanted to just mention that, and also I'm expecting news on the Kleistwahr The Battlefield is Everywhere CD during the next week or so. But to be honest, at the end of next week, I'm away. Wrocław Industrial Festival, and the week after that I'll be in England for a short time because I've got my now sold out Cafe Otto event on the 25th. So I'm not going to be around much. Of course my wife will be here, but Ivana will be here, but I won't be around to do much with any CDs, even if they do arrive, unless they come before next Thursday, not on Thursday, because on Friday I'm travelling. Well, if they come then, or even Friday, then I'll be able to start sending them out just before I go to England. I think I've got 2 days before I go to England. So things are pretty tight. I've also got the Morality double CD being primed for production at the moment. I've not even had a chance to finish the text for the cover. It's absolutely insane here now. It really is, and I've only got myself to blame. It's me, doing releases and everything. Nobody else, but I do have some. I think I've got another 2 CDs in the wings, the Tungu and Tabata Mitsuru, and also a Sean Organ one as well. I'll just turn the music down. But to be honest, I think both might have to wait till the beginning of next year. I mean, I've got the Richard Youngs LP arriving this is the new one, Zulaqrex. That should be, well, the test pressing should be here in a week and a half. And if that is approved, then I guess the album itself will be ready mid-November. So we're right on top of Christmas, really. And also I've got the Edward Ka-Spel test pressings here, also presently awaiting approval. And then also the Andrew Liles LP. So I've got quite a few things happening. And if I look more haggard or tired than usual, that might account for some of it, you know. So it's crazy. I've not had chance to do any grim humour writing, any grim humour book writing today. That was on my original agenda today, but no. Pallet load of records, half an hour unloading those. So this room, as you can see, you know, there, boxes everywhere. The same story over this side. This room is just, it looks awful. So I actually like tidiness. So but anyway, Albus is here and I'm starting to pack and send them. Cargo will probably have their own release date. There will even be a couple of in-stores arranged for, I don't know where exactly, but sometime next month. So that will be Andrew Fearn doing a couple of in-stores, but we're still in the process of confirming everything. And that's really all I wanted to say. Oh, and the other thing is, and I'll do a separate link for this, the Andrew Liles LP, To Arrive at Nowhere, that's the first LP in the series of 6 albums, limited edition albums that can be subscribed to on the Lumberton Trading Company Elite Editions series. And again, I've said this a few times already, it's definitely a tongue-in-cheek title, just given the nature of how limited they are. I'm not you know, I'm not into all that kind of boutique stuff. I've said this countless times, but it really is just more about keeping things in-house, direct orders, and keeping things to a manageable amount. And Andrew Liles is there in that series. The next release will be Nip Mott. He's doing an LP. And then I don't know who will be the third entry. Maybe Base Communion. There's Base Communion. There's Reverse Image. This is probably the sequence as well. Era App Ext. I never know whether I'm saying that correct, but I think I am. Nobody's ever corrected me. So, but Matthew Scott Waldron's project. So another one of the Nurse with Wound circle. You know, one of their affiliates. And the last one will be Soviet France, and they're doing a double LP. So that's unreleased material as well. So it's all exclusive material. Each album is new, unreleased, you know, exclusive to this set, which can only be ordered by taking out a direct order for the subscription, taking out a subscription basically for the 6 LPs in the series. And there's a reason why I'm mentioning it again, because yesterday I did a third option, partly prompted by Stephen Wilson, Base Communion, all the rest of it. He wrote to me a couple of days ago and said that he was surprised, something along the lines of him being surprised that he hasn't seen more about this series mentioned anywhere. But as I said in my reply to him, what can I do? You know, I've got very limited reach. I do these to help, or maybe it doesn't help, maybe it puts people off, but I do this to try and help push what I do. That's why I set up this YouTube channel. with my wife kind of prompting me, to be honest. So, although I think her original idea was for me to do reviews and be really kind of crass and you know and you know direct expletives in every direction, sort of throw expletives around and throw vinyl and CD. I think that was her original idea. I'm not doing that. I'm a bit too long in the tooth for that. Anyway, so and I try to look for positives in most things that I get sent now. I really do. Maybe it's because things have changed so much, or partly because of that. This area of music, whatever you want to call it, and I realise it covers lots of different sort of subgenres and whatever. But it's if anybody wants to, I mean, I generally say to anybody who is thinking about getting involved, don't, because it's so full of bullshit and hard work. It really is. It's just such a struggle. And again, hence my being here. So yeah, don't do it. Take up something else. Take up gardening or something. Cookery, pottery. Anything, even pottery is more useful probably than well, maybe not more useful, but more it's going to be less frustrating than this. That's probably the best way of putting it. So I'll just have a slurp of my Yorkshire. I hadn't prepared anything for today, really. Just wanted to mention that. A couple of things, though, and I did actually write some notes. I wanted to go into some gripes. I was playing this a few days ago, Uton. I've got a few Uton albums now. This one is pretty grizzled, kind of electronics and mixture of that and kind of sound art sensibilities. I mean, it's not an easy listen, definitely not. I mean, it actually sounds like the cover suggests. So there you go. It does sound a bit of a mess, but a good mess, a kind of organised mess. So I played that a few times this week, and also yesterday I received the new Thiepval Sandra album. I've only managed to, it's a double. I've only managed to play one half of it so far, Acid and Ecstasy. And yes, I was double checking. I knew I wouldn't remember the title. And Sean Organ features heavily on this as well. I think he's on most of the tracks. Not all of them, but most. I think all but one. And what struck me, I haven't really had a chance to fully absorb it yet, but I just thought, and I don't even know whether it's Thiepval. Actually, that's a gatefold as well. Maybe I hadn't even looked at the gatefold, but I just realised, no, I'm not going to be able to show that. Or am I? A quick glimpse. No, that's it. so yeah, it's lewd, and it involves, Thiepval Sandra is a very, I think most people know his sexuality. He worked with Coil, and the artwork is what you might expect in relation to that. He's actually a really nice guy. I met him at Rotswav Industrial Festival 2 years ago, I think. I can't remember, 2 or 3 years ago, and we had a bit of a chat, and he's really nice. But yeah, anyway, seems quite unassuming in person, but so like most of these people, there's an outlet for the other stuff. So let's put it like that. I mean, it's not for me. So yeah, it's actually making me laugh. I don't think that was the intention, but anyway, what else? Yeah, what did I want to say? Yeah, when I was playing that, when I was listening to a little of the Thighpaul album yesterday, and maybe even a little this morning as well, before the pallet load of extended network double LPs arrived, I thought whoever it is singing sounds like Peter Hamill, and even some of the arrangements, some of the song arrangements sounded a little like something I mean, Peter Hamill is not somebody you can pigeonhole too easily. You can't really. I mean, I know most people sort of lump him in with prog rock and or art rock, but his work, I mean, I've got even electronic CDs by Peter Hamill, so and piano stuff as well. So it's quite a wide palette, you know, that he works from, Peter Hamill, and the Thighpaul Sandra reminded me of that. And there is a kind of, I mean, there has been with Thighpaul's stuff in the past anyway. It's kind of, and Sean Organ to a degree, this kind of prog rock sensibility, and it works really well. They do. There's certainly a twist on it. It's certainly prog rock for the 21st century. It's not going back to the 70s, you know, the classic period of the early to mid 70s, and definitely the voice sounded a little like Peter Hamill as well. But I haven't heard all of the album yet, but so far very impressive, and I understand. I'm going to, you know, I fully understand. Similar to the Uton album, I really need to sit with it for a few more listens completely to get more out of it. You know, it's one of those kind of albums. Still haven't got to this CD, which was sent to me a couple of weeks ago. Haven't got to that yet. Steve Dalikinski and R.G. Ruff, The Lunatic Fringe, still sealed. So I haven't got to that, but I was playing this a couple of days ago. David Cunningham's 1977 album, Grey Scale, this reissue of it. And that's rather nice. So quite short, 40 minutes, because originally, of course, it appeared on vinyl. But that's really nice, quite minimal, just kind of rhythmic and melodic sort of refrains, just kind of bouncing off each other. I think there's a set of musicians who just play a series of notes or a tiny rhythm, and at the point of any natural mistake made, the next musician, I mean, it sounds very John Cage-ish, but the next musician then just follows on from that point, using, I think, the mistake as a starting point to where the piece of music should go. Really interesting. Anyway, I played that a few times, and I think that's it. But otherwise, I did make a few notes because, yeah, a few moans really, but I don't know whether I should save them for next time. No, I'll very quickly remind people of this. The unsolicited demos and links. I've had a few more this week. I really don't want them. You know, please don't. I kind of know who I want to work with, and even if they're not people that easily within reach, I've got connections. You know, I've been around long enough to have built quite a number of bridges over the years, so I know who I want to work with. There are a couple of people in the wings I'd still like to work with who I haven't, but haven't yet, or I just feel that they're served quite well by other labels. So it's kind of pointless me adding to the mix. But I don't want unsolicited demos or albums or whatever, no matter how interesting they might be. I don't listen to them, or I might listen to one out of 30. So, and even then, just 5 minutes. So unless it really, really does pull me in and and grabs me enough to actually make me think, oh, maybe I should do something. But I can't. I had one album link sent from another kind of electroacoustic ensemble from Italy recently, and what am I going to do with that? So again, nothing against people doing what they do with their music and their art, man. But and I do like some of that music as well. But I need to think in terms of breaking even. It won't sell. Nobody wants it. So, and I know from my mail order stock, the limited. I know what works, what moves, and what doesn't. And I had a good grasp of what works in that sense or not, or doesn't work for a number of years now. So and again, I like some of that music. I think it especially works well live. On the very rare occasion I go out and see such a thing, very, very, very seldom now. But no, 300 CDs not going to sell. It's that simple. So I've got enough bloody unsold stock here. I don't want to add to it. So I'm tending to stick with a group of artists whose work does have a modicum of interest, So and that includes my own projects, Theme and Splintered as well. People still seem interested in that stuff, so I'll gladly put it out. Anyway, so that was one of the moans. Number, well, I'm not going to number them, but the next one on the list was order moaners. People moaning about their orders. Again, please don't. New releases need time to go out, to be packed and go to the post office and go out there. And there's still an ongoing problem with American orders and Canadian at the moment as well. Canada's post is on strike, so no service here from Poland. And America, we can't ship there and haven't been able to ship there since late August. And I asked at the post office today, any news? No, nothing. So I'm going to England in a couple of weeks, and I'm actually going to send a box of as many packages as possible, that are meant to be shipped to America, to my parents' address, so I can then just send them from their local post office. That's the only solution I can think of. I won't be able to deal with all of them. There's about 60 orders waiting to go, but I can at least chip away at that 60. Maybe things will change in the next couple of weeks, but I've got to ship this stuff to my parents next week. And that's me doing my best. I hope you appreciate it, because you are able to ship to America from England at the moment, or from Britain or the UK. So that's what I'm going to do. Nobody will thank me. What else? Oh, yeah, another one here. I've never mentioned this before. people are asking for a cover or a spare LP. A couple of people had their When Worlds Collide double LPs arrive with one of the discs damaged, and they invariably write to me and say, "Do you have a spare disc?" Why the fuck would I have a spare disc? Why? Like, it's like when people ask for a spare cover. I don't get spare covers sent from the plant. I don't know where this idea's come from. Never understood it. Maybe you can ask for, overstocks. I don't know. But I've never had spare discs from a double LP set, spare covers for CDs. I've had inquiries for them in the past as well. So and no, I can replace the whole thing, and that's it. What else? I don't know. I can't read my writing. Yeah. No, I don't know. I think they were the main points. My terrible doctor-like scrawl is indecipherable. It's absolutely atrocious. So it doesn't help that I'm not wearing glasses either. I do have to wear reading glasses generally, and I'm too fucking vain for that. So I think I've said everything. Yeah, Albus, as I said, is going out now. I mentioned Morality being at the plant, or just about to go to the plant, rather. The Kleistwahr CD being at the plant, and the fact that I'm waiting for test pressings for the new Richard Youngs LP and Andrew Liles LP. And I just received the Edward Ka-Spel LP, the Sympathy portal test pressings. So it's pretty full on here, and I've not had a chance to do any writing today because of that. I'm just packing orders really, and that's my life, when I'm not doing normal work teaching, and again, lessons cancelled today, so I've got a free day. But when I'm not doing that, I'm just packing orders mostly. I try to write. I did some writing yesterday, but I won't have a chance again until either this evening or tomorrow. But yeah, the subscription series, maybe just to end on that, I've had about 63 or 64 pre-orders so far, and I need to point out there will only be around 120 available, although we're going to be pressing 150 of each album. Only 120 will be available to buy direct, so it really is super limited. I'm not exaggerating. I'm honest. We're not going to print, press loads more and sell them at a later date or anything. That is it. That is the set, and you need to get involved with the you need to take out a subscription if you're interested. And I think I started saying there's a third option. There's the full payment option. There's the split payment option, 2 payments. And yesterday I set up the 3-way payment option just to make it even more, just to make it even easier for people to take out the subscription. 3 payments of £65. I will put the individual links to those below, and as I said, we're getting close to the Andrew Liles one happening. Yeah, and I started saying that Stephen Wilson mentioned that he hasn't seen much in the way of mentions of this series, but again, where I bombard social media, at least Facebook, all the groups and everything. I do this. I've got my mailing list, and that's pretty much it. And outside that, I just depend on other people spreading the word. Really, it's that simple. Who writes about this? Nobody. And there won't be any freebies of the subs LPs going out. no way. So yeah, there we are. Apart from to the people that are actually involved, of course, So and those that are in my little circle, that those that help the label out, Sean Organ, Puppy, Alan Ryder, that's it, So yeah, don't expect any bloody freebies, you know what to do with those ideas. And I think on that note, I'll leave it. Thanks a lot if you made it to the end. Cheers. As I said, link to the shop below. You can find Albus there, and you can find, and I'll do separate links for the 3 ways of subscribing to the imminent LP series, and then you can also find pre-orders available for the Morality double CD and the Kleistwahr album. The Battlefield is everywhere, and there are other things happening. Oh, and also the Edward Ka-Spel LP, and the Richard Youngs, although most of those were accounted for. So I think we've got about 15 available still, so get in fast if you're interested. And I can guarantee that some people after the fact will be saying, do you still have copies of that? No, they've all gone. Bloody pre-order it. And in fact, pre-order anything right now, because cash flow is always a problem here. And I'll be looking at huge bills within the next few weeks. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.